Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another session of our Female Entrepreneurship Support Program, a collaborative initiative by TechQuest STEM Academy and Junub Open Space. This initiative is part of the AfriLabs Capacity Building Programme, which is funded by Agence Française de Développement through the Digital Africa Seed Fund. My name is Dr. Itoro Emembolu. I'm a director at TechQuest STEM Academy. Today, our mentors will be talking about branding and social media marketing. And we have two of our very experienced mentors here. We have Ezinne Edet, who is the creative director at The Right Start. Ezinne, you are welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We also have here Peter Bassey, who is the digital marketing manager, Vexceed Technologies Limited. You are welcome, Peter.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Okay. So before we go on, I would like you to introduce yourselves in the chat box and tell us where you're connecting from. And if you have questions, please put them in the chat box and we will take those questions after Ezinne and Peter go through their slides. So please introduce yourself in the chat box. Before we start, I would like to read a bit about talk a bit about the profile of Ezinne. And as I said, she's the creative director of Right Start, a brand that helps writers achieve the income goals they have, and they provide services including book writing, consultations, ghostwriting, content, freelance, and other writing services. Ezinne holds a bachelor's degree in accountancy, postgraduate diploma in education, and she has a certificate in early childhood development from the National Early Childhood Development and Education Association in Zimbabwe. She's a graduate of the UK Writers College and also an alumnus of the Young Africa Leadership Initiative. Ezinne has trained over 1,000 writers and intended writers on book writing. She has also authored 3 books, including her latest book, Fishing for Words, which provides solutions to common problems that writers face. So once again, Ezinne, you are welcome. And
thank you.
I'll just put up your slides.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here, speaking with entrepreneurs and people of like mind. So today we are going to be talking about branding and social media marketing. And that's what I basically call, in summary, how to get seen, get heard, and get found online. And if you're an entrepreneur, which I know you are, listening to me right now, I know that you want to get seen, you want to get heard, and you want to get found online. And that's why we're here today. So before we jump into the entire slide, the remaining parts of the slide, I'd like to define what branding is. So branding, as we all know generally, that branding is the unique identity, symbol, or let's say the unique identity or symbol that a company or a group has. But beyond that, I would like to also say that branding is a perception. It's a perception that people have about you, have about your company, have about your organization, have about a group, have about a set of people. So that perception is what actually guides their action towards that group. So I'm going to give you an example. For example, if I put before you an iPhone and an Android phone, definitely your perception of an iPhone is that this iPhone is of a higher quality, or it's a higher brand than an Android phone. So that's why I want you to understand that branding is a perception that people have about your company, about your organization, about your product or your service. So what is social media marketing? Basically, social media marketing is using social media platforms to advertise your products and services. That's what branding is. And we all know the regular social media platforms, because I believe everybody here is on social media, or your business is on social media. So we have Facebook, we have Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the likes. So, but also I would like you to also know that you can use social media to market yourself, to market your brand. And then how do you do this? The question is, yes, we all know this, but how do we create a strong brand on social media? Now, for you to build a strong brand on social media, there are 6 things that I've outlined here that you have to do. You have to identify your audience, then you have to position your brand, establish a relationship, and then nurture your audience, analyze, refine, and repeat. We are going to see all these in details. So how do you identify your audience? I'm sure that's the question most of us are asking. How do I identify my audience? Okay, the first thing you're going to do is to ask yourself, what is your message? Now, what do you do? What have you come on social media to do? Did you come to sell your product? Did you come to sell your service? Do you want to increase profit? Do you want to increase your revenue? Identifying your audience helps you to map out your social media strategy, helps you to understand what you are doing on social media, and then how you can take advantage of the platform that you find yourself. Okay, so now when you have identified your message, the next thing you're going to do is to identify who your message is meant for. So who is your message meant for? You're going to identify a group of people that your message is meant for. Is it for young people, women, children, youth? What kind of people? Teachers, mothers, single moms. What kind of people is your product meant for? That's the next thing you're going to you have to outline. And then the next thing you're going to do is to ask yourself, where can I find these people? So now that you've identified a group of people that your product or your service is meant for, then you go ahead to ask yourself, where can you find them? Because you are coming to social media to advertise yourself or to advertise your product, your business, or your service. So where are they? Are they on Instagram? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? You have to find where they are so that you would be able to properly position yourself to reach out to them, because you're not coming to just, talk to nobody. You want to be talking to somebody. You want your audience to be receptive to what you're saying. So you have to find where they are. What platform align with your product, with your service, with your brand? Now, when you have identified that, you also have to identify your unique selling proposition. So what makes you stand out? Because definitely, if you sell clothing, maybe women's clothing, you are not the only one selling women's clothing. There are various brands selling women's clothing. If you sell foodstuff, you're not the only one selling foodstuff. If you sell mobile phones and other gadgets, you're not the only one doing it. So what is your unique selling proposition? You have to identify what your unique selling proposition is for you to be able to position yourself for your audience. Now, your unique selling proposition basically is what makes you stand out from the rest. What is the competitive edge that you have? These are the things you're going to be outlining in identifying your audience. Now, the next thing is to position your brand. Now that you have identified your audience, you want to position your brand. How do you position your brand? Now, you position your brand by, first of all, the outlook of your social media platform, of your business page. If you have a business page, how does it look like? What does it look like when somebody comes to visit it for the very first time? Your business page should be professional, yet very, very inviting. I think that's just the rule of thumb. Also, you have to optimize your bio. What are you doing with the bio section that social media has graciously given to you? This is the place where you position yourself, where you tell us what you do, where you tell us what makes you stand out, where you convince a potential buyer or a potential client to engage with you or your product or your service or your brand. So take advantage of the bios that have been provided on every social media platform. Some require you to write a whole paragraph, an essay. Some just require 2 sentences. So you have to understand the social media platform you're on, and then you also have to understand how to optimize your bio. I've visited so many business pages and you just see the bio place blank, or the website that has been put there is not going through, it's just a dead link. Or the email, you send an email and nobody's answering you for the next 1, 2, 3 weeks. So you have to ensure that the contacts, your contact details that you put on your business page, on your bio, is enhancing your client's experience or your potential client's experience, such that when they visit your page and engage with you, there is swift response. Also, you have to be intentional about what you are doing online. When you have your business page, what kind of content do you share? You cannot say that you sell, maybe you cannot say that you sell women's clothing, or you cannot tell me that you are a consultant, maybe you are a business consultant, and then you come on your business page, and then you are sharing about cars, you're posting about cars. There is no connection between the posts that you are making and who you say you are. There has to be a connection. There has to be a connection between what you're dishing out on your social media platform and what your brand represents. Your brand values, your brand identity, all these things have to go hand in hand. So you have to be intentional about what you post and when you post, because it's very, very important that you post frequently. You have a frequency that you work with. It could be once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, but just ensure that you are constantly delivering, you are constantly putting out posts, because this is what keeps people connected to you and keeps you top of mind on your client, that keeps you top of mind for your clients. So you also have to be careful about unnecessary tags. Unnecessary tags sometimes could just make people have a perception that you're not serious online. So you have to set your business page in a way that people don't just, tag you to unnecessary things that do not represent your brand. Somebody cannot be giving a gossip news and then tag your business to that news. It gives your client the impression that you don't know what you're doing online. You are not serious. You are not here for business. So you just have to be careful about that. Also, you have to be careful about shares. As in, when I say shares, I mean the posts that you share. You have to ensure that whatever you share aligns with your brand. It's verified information, because this is what affects your credibility. If you're posting just any kind of content, you just see anything online and then you just share it on your business page, then it gives the impression to your client that you are not a creator, but a consumer. Because somebody who is a creator sits down, thinks, and puts out a valuable and helpful post. But someone who is a consumer just looks for a post that somebody has already worked on, and all that person does is share, share, share. As a rule of thumb, you have to ensure 90% of your posts, 90% is original content from you, and 10% can go ahead to be shared. So I didn't say don't share any post totally, but ensure that whatever you're sharing, you have verified the information, it aligns with your brand values and your brand image, and also that it's something, it's not a frequent activity. So 90% original content, 10% shares. Okay, and then the last thing I would like to point out when positioning your brand is that understand every social media platform, know how they work, and know how you can adapt your post to each platform. For example, Instagram is more of a visual platform. It has to do with graphics, images, pictures, videos. So if you are going to position yourself more on Instagram, you have to ensure that the kind of content you create aligns or is able to adapt with that platform. You're able to adapt it to that platform. For Facebook, it's more text-oriented. So if you are using Facebook as your main business platform, then you have to ensure that you create content that you can adapt to that platform, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now, number 3 is establish a relationship. Who are you establishing a relationship with? You are establishing a relationship with your clients and potential clients. Now, your clients have come, they are still skeptical. They still want to understand who you are and what you are doing, because You have positioned yourself for them to find you, right? Now, they've come to you, but they're still skeptical. They're still asking themselves, can I trust this person? Can I pay for a product and be sure that this person is going to deliver on time? What if this person is a scam? So now this client is a potential client standing afar and still observing your brand. Now, what you want to do is to create a middle ground. You want to establish a relationship between your brand and your potential clients. So how do you do that? You do that through storytelling. Seth Godin said, marketing is no longer about the stuff that you make, but about the stories that you tell. So why storytelling? Why did I say you should use storytelling? Now, when I talk about storytelling, I'm talking about brand storytelling. And what is brand storytelling? Brand storytelling is basically using stories to create a connection between your brand and your clients. So you can tell stories about your values, you can tell stories about how you started, your history, and all that. There are different kinds of stories that you can actually tell about your brand. So why storytelling? Number one, storytelling creates an emotional connection. Many people, many potential clients will be connected to you through your stories. I'll give you an instance. I was facilitating a training somewhere, and then we were talking about brand storytelling, and somebody gave an instance that she is a plus-sized lady and she sells clothing for plus-sized ladies. And how did she get into this business? She got into this business because she saw a need. Every time she went to the market, she found out that there was nobody was concerned about plus-sized women. Everybody was buying clothing for, you know, maybe the average woman and the other sizes, but nobody was concerned about buying clothing for plus size people. And then probably they'll even body shame you or something like that. So she took it upon herself and said, okay, then since I've seen this need, I am going to create a market around this need. Now, this is an awesome brand story. This story is going to be able to create an emotional appeal. Someone who is a plus size lady will just have this feeling that this person understands me. This person knows what I've been through or what I'm going through. So it creates that connection. It takes away the inhuman part of your brand and puts a human face to your brand because there's that emotional connection. So it creates human to human connection. Also, the human brain is hardwired for stories. If I ask you right now, which of these two can you remember at the snap of a finger? The Pythagoras theorem or the story of the tortoise and the hare? I'm sure 80% of the people here, 80% of the audience here will say the story of the tortoise and the hare because the human brain is hardwired for stories. Also, stories improve your credibility, stories are relatable, and it gives you a competitive edge. Stories improve your KLT factor. Your KLT factor is your know, like, and trust factor. So your potential clients get to know you, they get to trust you, and then they get to like you, and then they get to buy from you, and then it increases your revenue. So, number 4, nurture your audience. This is where you engage with your audience. This is where you actually interact with your audience. You respond to messages in your DM, that's a direct message. You engage with them on the comments, where they comment on your post, you respond. This is how you create that interaction. You deliver on your promise. You know, at the beginning, you had stated your unique selling proposition. So at this point, you have to deliver on your promise. You have to do what you said you are going to do. Aim to improve the experience of a client. At this point, you can also design a lead magnet to help your clients, to get your clients' personal contact, and then you can also introduce them to your other social media platforms. Now, number 5, you analyze. You check what is working and what's not working. Is your content plan working? Is your strategy working? Why is it not working? This is where you find out all these information, because what is not measured does not get improved. And then finally, you refine and repeat. When you have seen what is not working, you improve upon it, and then you repeat the entire process all over again. Identify your audience, position yourself, establish a relationship, analyze, and then nurture your audience. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat and I'll respond to them as soon as possible. Thank you. It seems you are muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. I think that was quite interesting. Once again, if you have questions, put them in the chat box and we will take them. Ezinne, you mentioned lead magnet. What do you mean by lead magnet? Could you explain that?
Okay, so a lead magnet actually is a product or a service that you use as a bait, I would say a bait, that you use as a bait to get the personal information of potential customers or your client. For example, you can say, if you're a consultant, you can say, okay, I'm doing a 1-hour free consultation session for this week. And you put it up maybe on a landing page in a place whereby when your client wants to pay for that service, the thing they will have to put in their personal information. I'm sure online you have seen this a lot of time. You just see 30 ways to write a book, something like that, for free, download. And when you click on download, they will say, put your name, put in your email address. That is actually a lead magnet. That company or that organization is using that product or service as a lead magnet to get your personal information. Before you know it, they start sending emails to you, whether you like it or not, because you have already opted into their email list through that lead magnet. So that's what a lead magnet is. If you sell female clothes, you can say maybe 5 ways to style your clothing, your dress, or to dress properly. So you just think, be creative about it, design a lead magnet and use it to get your client information. That's the way you nurture your audience.
Okay, thank you very much. We will take more questions later. While I introduce our next speaker, again, Peter, I will just run through his profile. Okay, so Peter Bassey, as I mentioned earlier, he is the Digital Marketing Manager at Vexceed Technologies Limited. He is a certified media specialist and he has years of B2B digital marketing experience and a deep understanding of trending market technologies landscapes. At Vexceed Technologies, Peter works with a team of digital creatives to manage client digital strategies, pay-per-clicks, and display ads needed for different platforms. And some of these platforms, they include Google, Bing, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. He had previously worked with Partners Limited as a trainer on the Google Digital Skills for Africa program, where he impacted more than 800 medium and small businesses and over 8,000 individuals on how they could maximize their visibility and brand awareness using Google products. He has core competencies across digital transformation, product design, growth hacking, integrated marketing, and more. So once again, you're very welcome, Peter.
Thank you so much, Dr. Itoro. It's good to be here. It's good to be with you.
Thank you. So you can go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Once again, I want to say welcome to today's session. I want to give my special gratitude to the entire team, at TechQuest Academy and Junub lab over there in Sudan. I also want to thank each and every entrepreneur that is here. Without you, these sessions would not be possible. Dr. Itoro, it's a privilege to be here to share. Thank you for the opportunity. I also want to shout out to my team at Vexceed Technologies Limited. Vexceed is primarily a digital agency and a technology service provider here in Victoria Island in Lagos, Nigeria. We have a range of products, offer business solutions. We have products from video marketing to social media marketing to branding, web development. We are at the core of your digital marketing strategy. and we basically help you to amplify your brand. I want to shout out to Ezinne for an amazing session. Thank you so much. I got to learn a lot. In fact, most of what I would be saying, Ezinne has already touched on them, but I would just see how to further nosedive, right? In this session, we're talking about branding and social media marketing. I know that at this point, every one of us we've at some point heard about that word branding. Someone has said, oh, branding, you've heard about that term, or at any point you've heard about social media. So what basically is branding, and how does it affect your strategy as a business, and why is social media important for you as a business owner in today's world? Before we kick into the conversation proper, I'll just want to say, when you hear the slogan, "Just do it," what comes into your mind? Anyone at all? Just let me know right there in the chats. When you hear the slogan, "Just do it," what business comes into your mind? Or we can bring it home. When you hear the slogan, "Everywhere you go," what comes into your mind? Anyone? Just pop out the answer right there in the chats section, and let's have an amazing and a very, very engaging session. Now, what basically is branding? What is a brand? We've heard about that word before. What does it really mean? Just as Ezinne said, of course, most of the elements that come together, to put forth your strategy that helps you really separate yourself from your competition are the elements that really make up your brand. So when we talk about logos, we talk about your fonts, we talk about very key elements of who you are, very key elements that are at the center of your strategy, your aim, when it comes to separating who you are, what your business stands to give the marketplace, what value you are offering. You are beginning to think branding, you're beginning to think brand. The fact is that some of us actually have begun, exploring this particular strategy. Some of us have already begun exploring branding, but we probably may not know that, oh, what I am really doing is called branding. So when you talk about branding, you're talking about that particular marketing practice that helps businesses to differentiate their products, differentiate their services. Ezinne talked about creating a logo, having a special kind of feel online. So when it comes to all of those elements put together, those are the particular elements that make up what your brand stands for, or what your identity basically is. When we're coming down into our local businesses, for instance, you want to sit first of all and understand, what am I doing? Why am I here? Why am I doing business? First of all, what am I out to achieve? All right, what is my purpose as a brand? What is my purpose as a business? Because it's very important that you first of all be at par with the reason why you even started to do business in the first place. Through time, marketers have created amazing logos, created a lot of strategies for differentiation. But with what is happening today, with the change, with the transition in our world today, with COVID-19 and so many other things, people now want to opt in for experiences. People want to go beyond just what your products are, or what your services are, or what it is you are offering. Right now, a lot of people are just going away from companies who really just want to sell and sell and sell and sell to them. And they're really going into the point where, hey, what experience can I get by purchasing your products and service? What feel? What is that? What is the perception that I can get? Because much of business, much of marketing is about people coming back after they have initially bought from you. And what will make people to return to you, to choose you above your competition, would be the experiences that they got, from patronizing your product or your service, the perception that you have been able to create in their minds as regarding what you do as a business, as regarding who you are and what you stand for. Now, how can you create a very strong brand? How can you create a strong brand? Someone may ask. The first thing that you would want to put into consideration is the purpose for which you are in business. Think about the reason why your company was started. Why did you get into business? Did you go into business to solve a particular problem? Did you go into business to meet a particular need? What need are you out there to meet? Establish your purpose. Know why you are in business. What is your mission? What is your mission? When you hear Nike say, just do it, that statement goes beyond the product. It goes beyond what they're selling. It's a mission. All right, you are out there to achieve. You know, when you're saying just do it, just beyond what you're going through, beyond your challenges, just do it. Or you think about Apple, for instance. Apple will tell you, think differently. You may ask, what does think differently have to do with selling iPhones? What does it have to do with selling laptops, for instance? But these big brands, they understand that, hey, it's not just about the product. It's not just about the service. It's about how people perceive us. So Apple will say, hey, we want you to think differently. In your approach, in the things you do, think differently. Or would we talk about Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola will tell you, hey, open happiness. Open happiness. Coca-Cola sells beverages, they sell drinks. But then Coca-Cola is telling you, hey, open happiness. Or McDonald's, for instance, I'm loving it. You know, so understand why you are out there. What are you out to do? What are you out to achieve? All right. Now, the second thing that you want to put in mind when you're creating a brand or you're creating a brand strategy, understand what makes you stand out. Determine what your unique selling proposition is. Because when you are out there to do business, your goal, first of all, is to position yourself in the minds of people, right? So that when they think about a particular niche, it is you who comes to mind. And the best way that you can do that, the best way you can create perception and position yourself in the mind of people is to understand what even makes you stand out. What makes you stand out? What strategies can you deploy that can give you that advantage above other people in your particular niche? Are you providing better services? Are your services more convenient? Are you a fun brand? You know, what are those things that make you stand out, basically? Are you a lively brand? Put it out there, all right? Emphasize on your unique selling proposition and make sure that you totally emphasize on that when you're out to build your brand. The third point I would want to highlight on is knowing your audience. Knowing your audience. We see this mistake over and over again. People get into business and then they just want to target everybody. They just want to reach out to everybody. You know, and there is a popular adage that goes that if you're going for everything, you're going for nothing. Because when you're trying to reach too many people, different people have different needs. Different people have different interests. Different people have different touch points. All right, so you have to go detailed to understand, hey, who am I reaching out to? If possible, and that's the amazing thing about social media, you can get to reach out to a certain demographic data. So if it's possible to create customer avatars through the demographics of people, are you targeting people? Is your product and service for people between 18 and say 40 or 45? Are you selling a service for people between 35 and 55? Is your product for just women or is it for just men? You have to know your audience. You have to know who you are solving those problems for. And once you do that, you can connect with them in a better way. You can meet them at the point of their need. Another thing I would also want to highlight on is perfecting on your personality. perfecting on your brand image, on your brand personality. All right. And most of the time, your brand personality it's more than just the promises that you make in your mission statement, in your vision statement. It goes into the actions that you actually take to achieve those promises. That's how you create a personality. That's how you create a brand personality. So earlier we said, hey, you have to set up your mission statement, know your purpose. But now we're saying beyond just knowing your purpose, what are those actions that you are putting in place? What are those systems that you are putting in place to ensure that you meet or you live up to those promises? Because when you're out there to make these, people are watching you. When you say, hey, just do it, are you doing it? When you say open happiness, when people buy your products, when they buy your service, are they happy or do they complain? Right? These are the things that make up your personality. All right. And then you can also, now I'm coming from the emotional aspect of things, but then for the physical aspect of things, you can also go into, the colors that you're using. There is actually psychology in colors. How many of us walk into, for instance, a Mr. Biggs, for instance, for those of us who are in Nigeria, or McDonald's? Do you notice the colors that they use? Have you noticed that most of the companies or most of the businesses that are into the eatery business, the food business, they have specific colors? You don't just walk into a McDonald's or you walk into Mr. Biggs and you're seeing black color, for instance, or you're seeing turquoise. I know ladies are really, really good with colors and all of that, but they are very intentional about the colors they use because there is a psychology to colors. There is a psychology to colors. So in crafting out your brand personality, understand the psychology of colors. What colors communicate? What colors will better represent my brand? What colors will better speak about my brand? All right. Think about the images, think about the designs, think about your tone. What's your tone? Are you the confident business like Nike, just do it beyond any reasonable doubt? Or are you the friendly business? Are you speaking about happiness like Coca-Cola? Understand that message and that tone and do well to ensure that whoever is working with your business, whether they're your employees, your staff, ensure that they live up to that particular personality and that experience. And then the final thing I want to highlight is be consistent. I cannot stress this enough. I can't stress it enough. Be consistent. What differentiates strong brands from others is the consistency. It's the consistency. It's the consistency, whether and consistency goes beyond just products and services. It goes deep, it dives deep into who you are, into what experiences you want people to have when they patronize you or when they buy a product or buy a service from you. And in trying to be consistent, it's always advisable that you have what is called a brand guide. A brand guide sets out the parameters that you would use, that you would follow to ensure that whether you are in Nigeria or you're in Sudan or you're in South Africa or you're in the US, your brand stands out. When they see or they come in contact with any material that comes from you, they know it's from you. And that's basically what we strive to do right here in Vexceed Technologies. We see how we can hold your hands side by side and we walk you through all of the procedures, all of the processes that you need to set up your brand reputation, to set up your brand guide, to your brand messaging, even to the channels that you're using, to put out your words out there. And that's really a little bit about what branding is. That's really a little bit about what branding entails. And when we're talking about the strategies that you can adopt, there are a lot of brand strategies. All right. For one, you can choose to position your brand using your person. That's what is called personal branding, where who you are actually affects your business. You're using your influence, and we see this particular strategy with celebrities. We see them with people of influence. So they work on who they are as a person, and they use that influence, they use that personality to promote their business, promote their products, to promote their services. So that's a strategy that is called personal branding strategy. There are other strategies you can look at. Product branding strategies, for instance, where you are trying to just focus on one particular product and make that product the best. You make it distinct, you make it recognizable. All right, you're just using that particular product to, you know, hit the market really, really, really hard. And an example of this kind of strategy is a Monster drink. I don't know how many of us know Monster drink, for instance. You look at Monster drink and you see that you see that image directly printed on their cans, and when you see that, you know, hey, this is Monster energy drink. You can't mistake it for Coca-Cola. You can't mistake it for other drinks in their industry. You can choose to go the route of corporate branding, for instance, where you are trying to display your own company's mission, your personality, your core values, and ensuring that your staff stick to that particular structure. Perfect example is Nike. Nike's core values, their missions, they are recognizable all across board, across platforms, all around the world. There are a lot of strategies you can use. Online branding, and we'll be talking about online branding in just a few minutes. Online branding is really, really important for you, and the reason is because with the advent of the internet, with the advent of social media, mobile devices, a lot of people are now moving online. A lot of people are now moving online. Before now, we had traditional marketing where brands could leverage on above the line and below the line platforms like billboards, like newspapers, like radio, leveraging on those channels to put the word out there about who they are, about what they do. But with the advent of the internet and social media, people are now online. People are now searching online. In fact, statistics has it that within the past year alone, over 1.7 billion people shopped online. We're not talking about going online. We're talking about people now shopping online. Another statistics has it that over 97% of people learn about businesses online than anywhere else. Right now, the customer journey that we have in our world today is, if, for instance, I want to buy a mobile phone, a Samsung mobile phone, for instance, I simply just go on Google and I search for maybe my Samsung Galaxy or something. I just go on Google and I search for it. And then Google refers some websites and, oh, we have here Sims Nigeria, for instance. Wow, Sims Nigeria has amazing phones, amazing products. Sims doesn't even have phones alone. They sell Samsung electronics generally, original products. You know, so that's the customer journey that we experience today. People are now looking up to online channels to actually, you know, make purchases of products and purchases of services. And we also have that over 95% of purchases will be through e-commerce by the year 2040. So you can see that your online strategy or your online branding, you should include online branding, all right, when you're setting out to create your products or to create your strategy or to create your services. Now let's talk a little bit about social media. Why is social media important? Why do you need to have a website? Why do you need to incorporate building a website also as part of your online strategy? We have right now, of course, we mentioned how many people shop online around the world. But in Nigeria, for instance, South Africa, Kenya, already we have 21 million online shoppers. And we have that 50% of these shoppers are going on people's websites, are going on businesses' websites to know about that product, to know about that service, right? So you cannot ignore having an online presence as part of your branding strategy in today's world. And that's basically what we do at Vexceed. I really can't sing that long enough. We really just place you, all right, for brand visibility, for reaching your goals and all of that. Now, I just want to ask around, are there any businesses out there that are on social media? What benefits have you derived by going online? What have been those benefits? For me, working at Vexceed, I have seen businesses go online and generate more sales. I've seen businesses add more value to their brand. I've seen businesses improve on their marketing sporadically. And I've seen businesses build relationships, and I've seen businesses to staying competitive. So that's how much social media, that's how much the internet has, that's how much digital marketing, internet marketing has. That's the impact that it can have on your brand, it can have on your product, and it can have on your service. Now, when it comes to social media, what strategies can you touch down on? What strategies can you put in place to ensure that you meet your goals? Understand your audience. One, understand your audience. Who are they? What are they interested in? What influences them, basically? Why are they coming online? You have to ask those questions. All right, another second way you can define your social media strategy is by defining your goals. What are you out to do? Are you wanting to grow your brand awareness? Are you trying to increase sales? Are you trying to get more customers on your website? What are your business goals? You have to define that. And then the third thing you need to do is to pick a platform. A lot of people come online, you hear about social media. Oh, amazing. You know, there are over 2 billion people on Facebook. Facebook's entire population is the population of Africa and America combined together. You know all of that. And then you just launch in. You create a Facebook page, create a Twitter page. You have to take it easy. And most of the time I advise, all right, that if you do not know how to go on this, seek the help of a digital agency like Vexceed. All right, we're right there to help you pick that platform and tie that platform to your goals, to your business objectives. So understand how platforms operate and try to see how you can leverage on digital agencies to help you if you do not know which platforms to start. The other thing you want to do is you want to define your brand's voice. All right, like I mentioned earlier, set out guidelines for your brand. Understand how to use logos to set yourself out, what fonts, what colors are best suit for who you are, what the tone of your brand's personality is, what are the do's, what are the don'ts. Basically understand what your brand's social media voice will be. And then lastly, define what success means to you as a business. Does success mean a growth in sales and in traffic? Does it mean an improvement in, say, customer service, an improvement in the amount of calls or the feedback that customers are giving to you? Does it mean an increase in brand awareness? Does it mean an increase in reach? Understand what success is to you as a business. Thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you very much, Peter. I think that was very enlightening, and we have a couple of questions here. But I'll start with a question for Ezinne. So Abimbola is asking about lead magnets that you spoke about, how they are how sometimes they are unrealistic bids. How do you draw the line between dubious and leading clients? For example, she got an advert that gave $10 advertorial time, but she needed to pay like $20 to access it. So how can they draw the line between those that are leading clients and the dubious ones?
Okay, actually, when I spoke about the lead magnet, I spoke about businesses using the lead magnets as a tool to, introduce their clients to every other platform that they have, also to create that personal relationship with their clients. I didn't really talk about lead magnet in the sense of you as a business person. I just used that example. I didn't say, I wasn't talking about you as a business person engaging with another person's lead magnet. But I understand that there are so many lead magnets that are very misleading. They are misleading ones. And there's always the option to opt out from any package you're not comfortable with. So if you've gotten the value that you want, maybe the product, the service, the consultation or whatever, you can opt out. You can opt out of their email list. And then I know that some brands can be overbearing, especially with emails and all that, but you could always opt out There are those that, yes, are unrealistic and could be overbearing. You can opt out of the email list. And then you use that to learn, so that when you're also devising your email marketing strategy, you're not also going to go and behave like that.
Okay, thank you very much. And I maybe to add to that, I think there are also a lot of them also offer trial periods, I think. So maybe it's to look into that and see if that's a viable option. Okay, so we have a question from Samira, and this is for you, Peter. Can your brand be separate from your business? Is it possible to have a brand name different from your business name?
Absolutely it is. If you remember when we were talking about building a strong brand strategy, we said that one of the routes that you can choose to take is to influence your brand from who you are, from your person. That's a strategy. That's a separate strategy. And we've seen a lot of people use that. There's a person who's called Neil Patel. Neil Patel is widely known in the digital marketing space. He has successfully created a business from himself. If you get on his website is not the name of a business. It's just neilpatel.com, right? But when it comes to Neil Patel, you're doing digital marketing, you're doing SEO, search engine optimization. But then there is also another business that is called Vexceed Technologies Limited. And Vexceed Technologies Limited provides digital marketing services, right? So we have a person providing a service, we have a business providing a service. So it is possible for you to separate who you are from your business if it is going to help. If it's going to help, really, if it would help you to achieve your goals, I would advise, why not go ahead? But if it's not going to, then it's very possible. Please separate your person and separate your business. We always see, especially on Instagram, people use their personal profiles, for their business. It's awesome. It's good. It's just basically, what do you want to achieve? Set your goals straight. Set your business objectives straight, and then know what strategy works for you. Okay.
Thank you very much. We also have a question also for you, Peter. And it was about when you were speaking about problem solving in business. Rofia is asking, can her business be focused on personal problems? Is that normal?
Of course, it's normal. Right now, the best thing you can do is to identify a problem and solve it. That's what I personally believe that business should be about. Of course, we know that at the back of your mind, you intend to make profits, you intend to make the revenue, but you should be more focused about solving problems. And why that strategy always works is the moment you can solve one person's problem, we believe that there are other people that are similar to that person that has the same problem that you can solve. All right. So if you're solving, I've seen businesses where the lady was providing trainings for nursing mothers, training nursing mothers on how they can better manage their time, manage the time they spend at work, manage the time they spend at home with the child, and manage the time they spend with their spouse. All right. No one knew that was a problem. But that lady identified that problem, and she discovered that there are a lot of nursing mothers, a lot of new mothers that face that particular problem. What did she do? She created a business, and she's doing absolutely well. She's doing absolutely well. People will always pay you to the extent that you solve their problems. People will always, the moment you have a solution to a person's problem, expect a reward. So yes, you can build a business around personal needs.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have a question from Kafila, and I would like both your perspectives on that because I think it's useful for many businesses. So Kafila says she's been struggling with bringing her business online. What advice would you give? And that's one. And she's into food processing, nutrition, and wellness. How can she increase engagement and sales? So if you go first, Ezinne.
Okay, so what I would say to her is that actually that market is a market that is people, the audience online, they are there, they are waiting for her, you know, to create something. The truth is that if you're coming, there is no hard and fast rule, you know, to bringing your business from the offline to online. There is no train or bus or something that you say, carry your business inside this train and just convey it online. No, it's how you position yourself. It's how you come online and create that authority. That's why we say branding is a perception. When people feel that this person knows what she's doing, this person has the product I'm looking for, then they will come to you. They will come to ask you questions. And I believe that as she said, she's into food processing. Is she marketing her product online? Does she have a product and service? That's the only way that people can engage with you. You cannot just say, I'm into food processing. Food processing, there are many things you can do. You can even write a book on food processing. You can create an ebook. You can create a workbook that people can use. You can create a service. You can teach people maybe how do you process your food from into refined products. How do you take it from the raw state to make it refined? If you want to teach people, you can do that. So there are many things you can create actual products and sell them to people. You can decide, do you want to do for maybe women who are weaning their babies? That's babies who are transiting from breast milk to solid food. You can focus on that market. The market there's market for that product, you know. So all she needs to do is that when you hear people say, take your business online, there is no hard and fast rule. There is no formula to it. It's you who creates the perception, and then people are willing to come to you because they now see that you are an authority in that niche.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you have anything to add to that, Peter?
Amazing. I think Ezinne has really touched the base. But then, in addition to all that she said, in addition to understanding your target market, in addition to crafting, what you also have to look into is crafting out a social media strategy. Craft out a plan. Create a plan. Most of the time, a lot of people just say, hey, I want to come online. And then the first week, because you have so much passion, so much energy, everything goes well. You post Monday, you post Wednesday, you post Friday. Week 2, things are still going on fine. But then 1 month later, 1 week, we've not seen you. We've not heard about you. 2 months, we've not even seen you. We don't know what you're doing. And that's always because there is really no plan. There is really no plan. So it's always advisable, draft out a content plan. All right. If you're having issues with putting a content plan together, reach out to an agency. See, it's only a person who knows that they need help that would actually get help. People always say you can take a horse to the stream, but you cannot force it to drink water. All right. If you know that you need social media, but then you are bankrupt, you don't have the right strategies, reach out to a social media agency. Perfect Vexceed Technologies. You can look us up on LinkedIn, VEXCEED. And we're always here to help. We're always here to give you strategies to help you basically set up your business on the right track when it comes to winning online and when it comes to winning on social media. So get an agency that will work for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. It's interesting that you mentioned reaching out to an agency. Amaka has an observation that most digital agency prices are neck-breaking. So how can they deal with that, particularly as they're also trying to build their own businesses and all of that?
So what you will have to do is you have to work with an agency that would understand your business and tailor solutions to meet your particular business. All right. So, for instance, here at Vexceed Technologies, the first thing we try to do before we even talk about all of that gains and all, we try to understand you. We want to partner with you, right? So it's not necessarily about, hey, these digital agencies are expensive and all of that. Really, if you calculate the cost that it will take you to do the things you want to do on your own, what it will cost you rather than partnering with an agency, you will discover that it would actually cost you more in terms of your time, in terms of your resources. So when you're supposed to be thinking about how you can get new clients, how you can expand your reach, hey, you are battling with social media posts and content marketing calendars. You know, so you have to, first of all, look at the benefits, check out what the agency is offering you, and look at the benefits that your business will, what your business will stand to gain in the long run. Nothing comes free. All right. So check out the package that the agency is offering you at Vexceed. We offer you amazing services at amazing prices. And then look at the benefits for your business in the long run. And I'm sure that you will do excellently fine.
Thank you very much, Peter. We are running out of time, but I'd like Ezinne to take one last question from Esther, and then we'll run around up. Esther is asking that how do you integrate farming into digital marketing, knowing fully well that the customer base that you are targeting are market women who don't have access to the internet?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, actually. So, since her target market are women who don't have access to internet, now all she will need to do is to, I believe that it's not only those women who want to gain access to what she's doing. There are other people online who want to know about her business, who want to maybe partner with her in what she's doing, because you're not just coming online only to focus on clients and potential clients. You're online to also increase your brand presence. You're online to also increase your digital presence and visibility. Maybe somebody wants to partner with you, they just heard about your brand or your brand name somewhere and they just want to search you up on Google. What's going to appear about you? It's true that your target is market women who don't have access to internet facilities, but it doesn't mean that you should hide yourself so that other people do not find you. There are NGOs who reach out to less privileged children, underserved children, and underserved communities, but you can find them online. You can get to know what they are doing. You can partner with them. You can engage in their community projects. You can volunteer to work with them. So she should understand, Esther, you should understand that you are not just online to focus on your clients. You are online to create a visibility for your brand. You are online to increase, to advertise yourself, basically, for people to get to know about you, people who want to partner with you, people who want to volunteer to work with you, people who are interested in what you do and also want to also project you to other places. Esther, wouldn't you be happy? Okay, you said your clients are market women who don't have access to the internet, but what if somebody finds you from, let's say, maybe the USA and says, I want you to come to this country. Come, let's work together. Would you like it? Yes, you would like it. So that's the reason why you also need to project yourself online, not just for the client, but for other opportunities that you may not even be aware that they are there.
Well, thank you very much, Ezinne. Thank you, Peter. I think that has been a very interesting session so far. And thank you to all our entrepreneurs and mentors that are logged in today. We appreciate your presence. And the details or the slides that have been shared by Ezinne would be sent via email and be made available. The recordings will also be made available on our YouTube channel. So please log in, and we'll also post that on our social media channels in case you would like to rewatch it. So please visit us on our social media channels and like our pages and TechQuest STEM Academy and Junub Open Space. So we look forward to seeing you at our next session, our next masterclass next week, Tuesday at 10 a.m. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a lovely day. And thank you, Peter. Thank you, Ezinne.
My pleasure. All right, bye, everyone.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Bye.